In this video we will be looking into the differences between alkane, alkene and alkyne. Let's start by defining them. Alkenes are organic compounds that consist entirely of a single bonded carbon and hydrogen atoms and lack any other functional groups. On the other hand, alkenes are unsaturated carbon that shares a double bond at the carbon site, and alkynes on the other hand, are unsaturated carbon that shares a triple bond at the carbon site. The alkenes are alternatively known as paraffin. The alkenes are also referred to as olefin. The alkynes are also referred to as acetylene. If we differentiate them in terms of saturation, the alkenes are saturated hydrocarbons. The alkenes are unsaturated hydrocarbons. The alkynes are unsaturated hydrocarbons. If we differentiate them in terms of general formulae, the alkenes have the general formulae CN, H twice N plus 2. The alkenes have the general formulae CN, H twice N. The alkynes have the general formulae CN, H twice N minus 2. If we differentiate them in terms of number of carbon bonds, the alkenes have single bond with carbon atom. The alkenes have double bond at the carbon site. The alkynes have triple bond at the carbon site. If we differentiate them in terms of stability, the alkenes have most stable hydrocarbon. The alkenes have less stable hydrocarbon than alkene. The alkynes have less stable hydrocarbon than alkene. If we differentiate them in terms of their state at room temperature and pressure, the alkenes, alkenes, and alkynes all are available in their solid, liquid and gaseous state at room temperature and pressure. If we differentiate them in terms of how they react, the alkenes undergo substitution reaction, the alkenes undergo addition reaction, the alkynes undergo addition reaction. If we differentiate them in terms of boiling point, in case of the alkenes, boiling point is lower than that of alkenes. In case of the alkenes, boiling point is higher than that of alkene. In case of the alkynes, boiling point is higher than that of alkenes and alkenes. If we differentiate them in terms of reaction with potassium permanganate, in case of alkenes, with addition of few drops of potassium permanganate to ethane, no color change is observed. In case of alkenes, with addition of few drops of potassium permanganate to ethane, the purple color changes to colorless, or fades. In case of alkynes, with addition of few drops of potassium permanganate to ethane also, the purple color changes to colorless, or fades. If we differentiate them in terms of solubility, the alkenes are generally insoluble in polar solvents like water but readily soluble in non-polar solvents. The alkenes are insoluble in water but readily soluble in organic solvents. And the alkynes are insoluble in water but are soluble in organic solvents. If we differentiate them in terms of reactivity, the alkenes are less reactive than alkenes. The alkenes are more reactive than alkenes. And the alkynes are less reactive than alkene. If we differentiate them in terms of acidity, the alkenes are less acidic than alkene and alkyne. The alkenes are less acidic than alkynes. And the alkynes are more acidic than alkenes and alkenes. If we differentiate them in terms of odor, the alkenes are odorless. The alkenes have sweet smell. And the alkynes are odorless and colorless with exception of ethylene which has a slight odor. So, these were the key differences between alkane, alkene and alkyne. Thank you.